message on paper. These days, a watchman monitors a computer screen which gives the code for the intersection, the address, and the type of dwelling on fire. These bells have been disabled, but the 5555 fire code is still used. A dispatcher will then say on the radio that the department announces the death of a firefighter and will offer the name. The 4 5s will be followed by 8087, the code assigned to the World Trade Center. This time, 0846 hours. Pause for a moment. Sorry, gentlemen, are we ready?
Stand by, Chief.
If not, I could have the Pastor Camacho open.
Yes, sir.
Pastor Camacho, would you open for us, please?
Let us bow our heads and let us pray. Everlasting Father, 20 years back, we were all in different places, doing different things. When we came, Father, to know what was done to the life of thousands and thousands of people, it came to bring pain and sadness to millions and millions that were living in our country. On that day, September 11th, 2001. Throughout the years, we all have coming together, gathering together to remember what happened on that day. In a very humble way, oh Father, we continue surrendering ourselves to you, asking for your strength, for your peace, and for your comfort. For many of us, oh Father, that day never will be forgotten. There were hundreds of people that were there. There were hundreds of people that were not there, but we were able to see through the media what was done. The life of every single human being in our country was affected. Our life came to be changed. And today, oh Father, we want to honor the ones who died on that day under the most critical and most painful and sad circumstances. I was still looking today at the pictures of Father. Tears comes to our soul, our heart, our life continue being broken. We know that you're still healing us, oh Father, and we go through the emotions at the moment. But we want to thank you for allowing us to be here on this day, for giving us the strength as a community, as a city. Thank you for the ones who put this event together. And Father, in honor to the ones and in comfort to the family of the ones who love someone, the loved one on that day, we pray to you that in your compassion and grace and peace and love, you continue, oh Father, you continue strengthening them and giving them comfort. Because the time when it comes, it is so alive and so vivid, not just in their minds, but in their soul. And to the ones who did what they did, oh Father, to us, help us to forget as part of that healing process. And we pray in your name, which is almighty and everlasting, and powerful. You're the God of our nation, the God of our country. And that we are today standing up. It is not because of our strength, it is because you are the one who have helped us to continue moving forward and restoring what happened and looking at what is our future. Wonderful and a beautiful one. Because you. Amen.
Please rise for posting of the colors. Post colors. Present us.
Thank you. Please be seated. This morning's ceremony is we're gonna have several speakers of our leaders of our community and of our respective police and fire departments speak this morning, along with our state senator Judy Schwank and county commissioner. And then following that, we'll be reading off the names of the 343 firefighters and the police, New York City Police Department and Port Authority Police Department members who were lost that morning. Before we go ahead with that, I do want to recognize leaders of our community, many of them who have been with us here, not only this morning, but have been with us each and every year since September 11th of 2001. Let me begin with the Honorable Mayor of the City of Reading, Eddie Moran. Seated next to him is our State Representative, Manny Guzman. Next to him would be our City Managing Director, Abe Amaros. We've already met, who's been with us many years here and been very helpful, is our Pastor, Nicholas Camacho. We have with us County Commissioner Kevin Barnhart. Our Police Department, we have the President of the FOP, Sergeant Charles Mendes, along with the Chief of the Department, Richard Tornelli. On the other side here, we have Councilwoman Donna Reed, our State Senator Judy Schwank, Deputy Chief Larry Moyer, our President of Reading Firefighters Local 1803, Jeremy Grove, our Fire Marshal Jeremy Searfoss, and our past Fire Marshal who's kicked this whole thing off 20 years ago, retired Fire Marshal David Januszewski. Out in the audience, I do know retired Chief of the Department, Richard Boyer, is here with us this morning. And if I missed anybody else, I apologize. So with that, we'll go ahead and let me introduce to you the Honorable Mayor of the City of Reading, Mayor Moran.
Good morning, everyone. What took place 20 years ago leaves a long-lasting impact on our lives. It is unforgettable, burned into our hearts and minds. Every single one of us lived through that day, but never forget what we were doing, or who we were with. That Tuesday morning began pretty much like today. The sun shining, clear skies, normal everyday bustle, and folks going to work or going about their business and activities. No one could ever predict what happened next. And while volumes have been written and tens of thousands of hours have been spent analyzing what happened, we still mourn the nearly 3,000 who lost their lives, including our first responders, who thought nothing of going into those dangerous towers that ultimately collapsed. My employment that day had me very close to the towers. I personally saw things that I wish I could forget. There were things that I just don't like talking about. But what I would not forget is how first responders jumped at the chance to help others. What I will not forget is how complete strangers selflessly assisted their fellow human beings without words, just actions. Humanity, service, and decency were alive and well that day, and still inspires me and all of us 20 years later. At no time has this been truer than what occurred that day in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, PA. The human spirit remains strong, and we will never be defeated. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our great city, and God bless the USA.
Allow me to introduce our State Senator, Judy Schwenk. Again, I did miss, at 9:03 we'll be pausing again for one toll on the bell at the time that Flight 175 struck the South Tower.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, everyone. So proud of our community that you've turned out to be here today for this solemn ceremony. Today we gather to remember and honor all those we lost to senseless acts of terror on September 11, 2001. More than 2 decades ago, a group of radical terrorists sought to shake our country to its very core by launching coordinated attacks against targets in the United States, which resulted in the loss of thousands of innocent lives. The harrowing events of that time still reverberate throughout the American consciousness 20 years later. Today, we still struggle to find ways to cope and comprehend this reality. Despite the terrorists' intent to weaken the American spirit, such attacks failed because that day united us together as one nation under one flag. I had the privilege of visiting the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville not too long ago, actually this time of year. It's moving, and I urge all of you to go. And I urge you to visit all of the memorial sites, from the Pentagon to New York City as well. The courageous sacrifice of the passengers and crew members of Flight 93 was the focus of the Shanksville Memorial, obviously. I can tell you I had tears in my eyes as I listened to phone calls that the passengers sent to their loved ones as they talked about what was happening. And when I thought about the courageousness, these are people that didn't even know each other and came together to try to thwart the hijackers in that attack. Their heroism could never be forgotten. And I know that story will be told and retold many, many times. Their sacrifice reminds us that it's important now more than ever to come together to support each other. In our hyper-polarized society, it's easy to get caught up in politics and attack our neighbors as if they were the enemy. Somehow we've lost our way. We must push past our differences and rededicate ourselves as fellow Americans, all rooted in the common mission to uphold the fabric of our democracy and to continue making America a shining beacon of liberty and freedom for the entire world to admire, just as all those who died on September 11th did as well. We can start today as we take the time to honor everyone who sacrificed their lives to save those in danger that day. All the brave firefighters, police, emergency medical personnel, and ordinary citizens who ventured into the perilous depths of smoke, rubble, and darkness to save innocent lives and show compassion and kindness to those affected. Our brave service members who still serve today, but who went to war to help fight terrorism. We need to remember and honor them as well. As we did then, today we must continue that. So let's rededicate ourselves to support all the men and women who serve our community and our nation as emergency responders and members of the armed forces. For your sacrifice, we thank you. No words can do justice to just how grateful we are for your service. Hard to believe, it's been 20 years. A lot has changed in the time since the attacks on the World Trade Center and at the Pentagon, as well as in Shanksville. Today we face a new slate of problems we have to confront as a nation, just as we did 20 years ago. And only together can that be done. Thank you all again for being here. Thank you for organizing this ceremony, and God bless America.
Thank you, Senator. We'll pause for a moment as it's 9:03. This time, I'd like to introduce County Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Chief Stout. Morning, everyone. What a beautiful morning it is to recognize the 20th anniversary of September 11th. I think it's each and every one of us get a knot in the pit of our stomach when we think about it, when folks like us have to come up with a few words that certainly don't completely capture the essence. But remembering our grandparents, our parents who struggled through Pearl Harbor and the horrors of World War II, they lived it, they breathed it, they knew it. For us younger people, like the JFK assassination, the Challenger disaster, we think about where we were, who we were with, and what took place. And now, for many of us, September 11, 2001. What we were thinking and the lives that were lost still feels much like that today, but recognizing that 1/3 of the population we have today were not even alive, and many millions have gone before us. So it's incumbent upon us to remember those sacrifices and those lives lost. Nearly 3,000 people, 25,000 were injured, plus scores more of health-related issues. These were not armed combatants. They were innocent victims, and they left thousands and thousands of family members behind. Many stories have been written, many poets have written poems, a lot of songs have been written about September 11th, but one that really rings true to me is Alan Jackson, "Where were you when the world stopped turning?" I was on a business trip to Chicago. We flew out on Saturday. The most ironic thing about it was, and you read about the passengers of these flights were not full. There was probably no more than 24 people on our flight Saturday out to Chicago. It's a beautiful weekend. We met with clients of ours. We were supposed to go to a trade show in downtown Chicago. And we took a beautiful walk up Lakeside Drive. Had no idea. We didn't have things like technology back then, cell phones to know what was taking place. Put our sneakers on and took a walk. Came back and recognized as there was horrible things taking place at the hotel. And the concierge said, "Look up at the television." We looked up at the television and saw the first tower aflame. And then we finally realized, what do we need to do? So of course our wives were on our phones and trying to tell us to get back, get home. They don't know where the other planes are. So we hurried back as soon as we could. Longest trip of my life, coming back Interstate 80, going 80 miles an hour. We finally got home at 1 o'clock that morning. But it was the feeling of disbelief, the feeling of confusion and fear, and then it turned to anger. You know, you're certainly not listening to the radio stations and listening to music on the way home. You're listening to AM radio to try to get whatever information you can about these horrible acts. So, for those, again, under the age of 20, to them it's probably almost like a Hollywood movie. For those who have passed on, for us to remember, we need to carry on the stories and the lives and recognize how tremendously this has changed our country. And as many have said and will say, this is another time and opportunity for us to have a rebirth of kindness toward our fellow men. Let's start that today, right here in City Park. Let's recognize the thousands of heroes, the firemen, the emergency management people, police and healthcare workers, the air traffic controllers, the flight crews, the passengers. Recognizing they brought down 4,500 flights. And again, the largest civilian evacuation in history happened in New York City. And those who left this area to lend support to the cleanup and deal with the aftermath many months later. And to our military and the intelligence community, we thank you. And recognize, as all of us, I'm sure, here in this park today have visited the memorials and Flight 93 Memorial, it certainly does take your breath away. And one last thing, the vote that those folks took on Flight 93 to charge the cockpit, for me, was the most significant vote in my lifetime. So thank you to the leaders of this great city for honoring those who have perished, not on today like today, but starting 20 years ago. Let us never forget. God bless America.
Next to speak will be our state representative, Benny Guzman.
Good morning, everyone. You know, today it's a very somber day for a lot of us, especially all across the country. I remember where I was 20 years ago, and as one of the younger ones here and one of the younger elected officials in our county, 20 years ago I was in 7th grade at Southwest Middle School. And I remember seeing the images on the TV. And at the time, I know it was mentioned about a Hollywood movie. Well, at the time, my 7th grade mind didn't really understand what I was seeing. Was this a movie? Was this, some type of Hollywood special effects? And I remember there just being so much chaos in our schools, and our teachers were debating whether or not they wanted to show us the images that were on the TV. And when they turned the TVs off was when both buildings actually fell. But before that happened, there was a shot on CNN that I still remember vividly to this day, and I feel it viscerally just speaking about it now, was after both planes had hit and both buildings were up in fiery flames, there were individuals who were trapped above the flames. And there was a shot that I remember so vividly of panicked individuals who were trapped above the flames with no way out. And many of them had to make a decision. And as I think about it now, I wonder if I was in their position, would I have the same courage to do the same thing? And imagine me seeing this as a 7th grader, individuals jumping off of the World Trade Centers and their bodies landing on the floor with thunderous blows. And I knew then that my life and our country would never be the same. And as I think back now on the last 20 years, there's so much that has happened in my particular generation. My generation, not only did we see the rise of the internet from dial-up to very fast internet, we saw 9/11, we saw 2 global wars where we saw thousands of my people die in countries that most of us haven't even heard of before. We saw 2 global recessions, and now we're still currently dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. I think about this over the last 20 years, the generation of millennials like myself who have grown up in America, and we hear stories about what America used to be. And I know that that's something that we can still aspire to today. But let me tell you something, as an individual, as a millennial who has grown up during this very tumultuous time in American history, I can tell you that we are traumatized not only as a youth demographic, but we understand the death and the tragedy that not only occurred on 9/11, but that continues to occur today with the countless deaths that are happening due to COVID-19. So, I end this with saying this. I will continue to remember what that little boy felt like seeing the images on the TV in Southwest Middle School. And I'll continue to remember the thousands of people who died on 9/11, the hundreds more who ran into toxic dust fumes, having no idea what they were running into, many of whom who are not here with us today. I think about the thousands of men and women who died overseas in global wars. And I think about the almost 1 million people who have died due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We have a lot of tough times ahead of us, but I know that as Americans, we are strong when we are united, and I believe that our best days are ahead of us. God bless you all. God bless these United States of America, and God bless our first responders for always having our back. Thank you so much.
This time, Councilwoman Donna Reed would like to read a poem.
As we stand in this hallowed ground, we can only imagine what went through the minds of the Penn family when they gave us to the city of Reading in the 1740s. Never could they have imagined what lie ahead. And you see Memorial Grove over here, we've all gathered here for good times and commemorative times. And it's important to have these hallowed grounds, these public places, that we can share in joy and we can share in sorrow and remembrance. So here's a poem I read virtually every time we've had one of these commemorances of 9/11, and I will read again. It's called Prayers for Steel by Carl Sanford. Lay me on an anvil, O God, beat me and hammer me into a crowbar. Let me pry loose old walls, let me lift and loosen old foundations. Lay me on an anvil, O God,
beat me and hammer me into a steel spike, drive me into the girders that hold the skyscraper together, take red-hot rivets and fasten me into the central girders. Let me be the great nail holding a skyscraper through blue nights into white stars. May we remember everyone, may we thank all our first responders, and may we look to better and brighter days ahead. So, God bless our city, our county, our state, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Reed. As members of the fire and EMS services, we feel and have a special place in our hearts for the 343 firefighters and 8 EMS personnel who were lost that morning, and for the hundreds who have died since. And the unknown number, I'm sure thousands, of those who are continuing to suffer and continuing to die from the effects of that fateful morning of September 11, 2001. I am certain that our brothers in the police department have that same special place for the members of the NYPD and the Port Authority police departments who were lost and continue to suffer and die from the attacks that bring us here this morning. Although we as members of the emergency services will focus specifically on them this morning, let there be no doubt that we as Americans will remember and never forget all the American citizens who were lost that day. Not only in the attacks on New York, but also the military and civilian lives that were lost at the attack on the Pentagon. And we will always remember and never forget the heroes that were lost in the crash of Flight 93 in Shanksville. As I remember that morning, I remember the feeling of concern and having a sick feeling in my stomach even before the South Tower was struck. Watching the fire, as the fire in the North Tower was burning following the crash, numerous floors of fire, just thinking and trying to imagine about the heat that was being generated and being pushed through the building and the thick smoke that we were all seeing pouring from them many floors. It was hard to imagine the punishment that the crews were going to encounter when they reached their destination to begin the battle. Even with the resources available to the largest fire department in the nation, they were up against a fire of such magnitude that you knew there would be significant injuries and loss of life, not only to the civilians, but to the firefighters making their way up the stairs. And then the second plane struck the South Tower. It was now apparent that our nation was under attack. The reports were coming then of the plane striking the Pentagon, then of another hijacked plane. Reports that it was headed to Washington, and then later that it crashed in a field of PA. I remember the fear and feeling and concern for the unknown and what more was to come of this day. They were clearing the skies of aircraft, of all aircraft, and then came the collapses of the towers. The entire lower half of Manhattan in a cloud of dust and smoke. As I went to work that night, we were glued to the TV and had a feeling of helplessness. The early reports were there was many as over 1,000 firefighters lost. As we will later read the names of the 343 firefighters that were lost that day, you will hear the ranks and assignments. The loss of personnel was from the very top, the chief of the department, to one of the newest probationary members. To provide an understanding of the dedication and commitment that the emergency service workers have, I'd like to quote a paragraph from a Firehouse article that was written by retired FDNY Battalion Chief John Salka. It goes like this. I have heard many current and retired firefighters say about the actions they took that day that they would do them all over again. Even now, knowing that many were exposed to dangerous conditions while working at ground zero, the urgency and immensity of the situation would inspire and propel many rescue workers, police officers, firefighters, EMS providers, construction workers, members of the military, and many others to cast caution to the wind for the sake of their fellow citizens and fellow firefighters. Although we have vowed to and will never forget the tragic events of that fateful day, to me it also means we should remember how this great nation of ours came together in those most tragic of times and truly became one nation under God. That was undivided under God. Remember those most horrible of times as the clouds of dust and debris rumbled through the streets of Manhattan, how we watched the citizens of that great city help one another find shelter, assist with the injured, and the many displays of care and compassion that they have for one another, regardless of race, color, ethnicity, and religious beliefs. I remember the scenes of both military personnel and civilians attending to the injured on the grounds of the Pentagon. One of the things that sticks in my memory was the story of how then Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld could not be located. And that was because he went out to help with providing care for the injured. I remember that in every neighborhood, every street, every block, wherever you looked, you saw the American flag being proudly displayed. I remember how during those darkest of days, you saw the people of New York shouting and applauding all emergency workers as they drove through the streets. The placement of flowers in front of the fire station and the delivery of meals to the station. That appreciation that was being shown for the emergency service workers was not only there, but in cities all across the nation, including Reading. You'll hear citizens routinely express their appreciation to us for what we do. I do not recall this being expressed prior to that day. And if it was not nearly as often. And I remember how the youth of this great nation, just as their forefathers before them have done, following the bombing of Pearl Harbor, stepped forward in the times that followed and enlisted in our armed services to protect us from the enemy that initiated these attacks. Many of these brave young people are here with us this morning, and to all of you, I say thank you for your service. To those who were lost that day, and to those and the families that continue to suffer and die from the attacks of that day, we will never forget, and we will continue to honor your memory and pray for you and your family. May God bless America. I would now like to, next up will be the man who organized this event 20 years ago, retired Fire Marshal David Januszewski.
Thanks for the kind words. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to thank everybody in the audience for attending this. It really means a great deal to me. Before I begin, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Reading Fire Department for allowing me to speak a few words today. It is a privilege, and I am deeply honored. To all my fellow retirees, firefighters, EMS, and police officers in the audience today, you are a makeup of a unique family that were chosen to do this job. Always be proud of who you are and the work that you do. May God watch over you and keep you safe. To all our veterans in the audience, thank you for your service. Thank you from my students. To all our dignitaries, special guests, families, friends, thank you for attending this morning's ceremony to honor all first responders and to never forget 343 firefighters who lost their lives in New York City on September 11, 2001. This week I pondered on what I would talk about and how I could impact my captive audience in a few minutes. So I put together some thoughts and wanted to share with you my own unique personal feelings. Let me begin with a quote from President George W. Bush from November 11, 2001. Time is passing, yet for the United States of America, there will be no forgetting September the 11th. We will remember every rescuer who died in honor. We will remember every family that lives in grief. We will remember the fire, the ash, and the last phone calls, the funerals, and your children. Today is the 20th anniversary of September 11th attacks. And personally, watching the attacks on TV, seeing the towers fall, hearing the emotions, and trying to make some sense of this all had a deep, overwhelming effect on me. I, like many of us here, remembers where we were, what we were doing at that precise time we heard the plane crash. America saw firsthand these brave firefighters entering a 110-story building that was struck by a jet, burning not just 1 or 2 floors, but 20 to 30 floors, climbing up stairwells while terrified occupants are running down the other side. Firefighters responding on apparatus to the scene, looking up, seeing 2 of the largest buildings in New York City burning, and knowing deep down this is a situation that I have never witnessed before, and having that gut feeling telling you something is wrong, you may never get out of this one. But they did not retreat. Instead, they rushed forward and onward because their job is to save lives at all costs. As time passes, memories fade. We tend to forget, and things lose their meaning and impact. But each day brings on new and different circumstances, tragedies and disasters that tend to replace what happened yesterday. 20 years ago, after the September 11th attacks in the United States, there's a whole new generation coming of age that may have no direct memories of that tragic day. And this is the reason why we need to continue to honor all who lost their lives, and so this next generation will never forget. We must continue to keep telling the story. We cannot forget what was sacrificed that day. We cannot forget the courage, the strength of those running into the buildings. We must never forget. I'd like to end on another quote from Donna Reed. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Thank you, and God bless America.
This time, Police Chief of the City of Reading, Richard Burnell.
Good morning. The attack on Pearl Harbor on the 7th of December 1941 gave rise to the greatest generation. Americans who sacrificed so much to end the atrocities taking place throughout the world and protect our way of life here at home. They served in places like the beaches of Normandy, towns, cities, and countrysides throughout Europe, the deserts of North Africa, and on islands throughout the Pacific. Those brave Americans all hoped that the horrors they faced and defeated would never emerge again. But on the morning of September 11, 2001, evil once again came to our shores. This time it came in the form of terrorists, seeking to end our way of life by crashing planes into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. What those terrorists failed to realize was that there was another generation of Americans who were themselves ready to take the fight to them. 1 hour and 17 minutes after the first plane struck the World Trade Center, a group of brave Americans made the first strike in the War on Terror when they forced their hijacked plane down into a field in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, saving an untold number of lives. Since that time, our generation has taken the fight to the terrorists and sacrificed to end atrocities around the world and protect our way of life at home. We are the generation of first responders and members of the military that started our careers or decided to serve in a world that was drastically changed 20 years ago. A generation, including many of those first responders here today, who have served in places like Kandahar, the Hindu Kush Mountains, Helmand, Mosul, Ramadi, Fallujah, Al-Anbar, and countless other locations around the world. But our generation has also had to fight those who wish to destroy our way of life in places like San Bernardino, California, Garland, Texas, Columbus, Ohio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Orlando, Florida, and on a typically quiet street in Watertown, Massachusetts. For over 20 years, we have taken the fight to the terrorists and served to protect our homeland. But unlike the enemies of the greatest generation, our enemies will not surrender. We had hoped, like they did, that no one else would have to continue the fight. But standing behind us is another generation of first responders, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Women and men who choose to stand between good and evil. Americans, like the 13 members of the United States military who were killed in a suicide bombing at the Kabul airport in August. Americans who physically stood in front of evil to protect the innocent. And there are thousands more brave men and women like them. So today we should remember the victims of the attack on our country 20 years ago. We should remember all of those who were killed and wounded in action, sacrificing in faraway places to keep evil from our homes. And we should also remember those who serve in our communities every day, the brave women and men who protect us, like those who bravely ran into the towers and would do it again today, even knowing the risks. We should also never forget tomorrow, a day when our country came together to support and protect each other and heal. And while we never need to experience another September 11th again, we could really use another September 12th. God bless all of those killed in the September 11th attacks, their families, and God bless America.
Thank you, Chief. This time, call upon the President of the Reading Firefighters, Local 1803, Firefighter Jeremy Groves.
Good morning, everyone. Honestly, it's hard to believe that today marks the passage of 2 decades since the 9/11 terrorist attacks. These attacks being one of the most devastating to have ever been committed on American soil, has killed and injured thousands of people from all walks of life. During this day, selfless and courageous acts demonstrated on and in the aftermath of 9/11 have largely defined that day and the days that followed. Even after the unimaginable tragedy from that day, our potential of American people for resilience is stronger than ever. We came together as American people, stronger, looking for justice that we eventually got. But even that justice will never replace all the lives that were lost due to the horrific acts that transpired that day. As we move forward, it is important to keep our promise to everyone that has lost their lives that day. We shall never forget, and we must educate the younger generations so as they too never forget all the events of this tragic day. In return, this will help America remain vigilant in taking the stand for our freedom. As firefighters, we take an oath to serve and protect our great city. One never knows in this profession when it is going to be their time. But feel sure, the great men and women that stand before you today, in honor of all that have fallen on that day of the terrorist attack, give nothing but 110%, just like their fallen brothers and sisters did on 9/11. Our hearts are heavy and go out to all the families affected by that day's tragedy, for living with only a memory of a lost one, never being able to say goodbye. That leaves an emptiness in one's soul in which it can never be filled. It can be honored, though, through the remembrance of these tragic days, by creating shrines and memorials to assist us in remembering, as hard as that may be sometimes. On that day, Flight 93 never made it to its intended target, solely due to the bravery of the crew and passengers. The heroes of Flight 93. They had to overcome fear and fight to destroy the evil that looked to destroy the American people and our ways of life. Although their actions would not save their own lives that day, they did save countless others by stopping the terrorists on board that flight. For this, we are grateful for their sacrifice, as hard as that may be sometimes, and hopefully we can honor them in our remembrance and traditions going forward. This time I'd like to just take a moment and thank the men and women out here standing for our color guard, men in blue, firefighters, and our bagpiper for your great music. Thank you all for allowing me to speak. God bless.
Thank you, President Grove. This time, I'd like to call upon the President of the Reading Chapter, the Fraternal Order Police, President Sergeant Charles Menges.
Good morning. In 2006, at the 5th anniversary, former Mayor Rudy Giuliani offered this up. 5 years from the day of the attack that changed our world, we've come back to remember the valor of those we lost, those who innocently went to work that day, and the brave souls who went in after them. We've also come to be ever mindful of the courage of those who grieve for them and the light that still lives in their hearts. I'd like to think that still rings true today. God bless the United States of America.
This time, to honor the memories of the firefighters and the police officers lost that day, we will read off all the names of the 343 firefighters and the members of the NYPD and Port Authority Police Departments who were lost that day. During this time, we will be pausing at 0950 at 9 hours for the ringing of 5 bells, 5 tolls on the bell. Signal 5555 at the time the South Tower was lost, and then we will pause again at 10:28 at the time north left for the ringing of the 5555. This time, retired Fire Marshal David Janicki will start with the reading of the next.
Firefighter Joseph Agnello, Ladder Company 118. Lieutenant Brian G. Heron, Battalion 13. Firefighter Eric Allen, Squad Company 18. Captain James Amato, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Richard Allen, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Calexto Anya, Jr., Engine Company 4. Firefighter Joseph Agnelli, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Joseph Agnelli, Jr., Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Faustino Apostol, Battalion 2. Firefighter David Archie, Engine Company 33. Firefighter Louis Arena, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Carl Acero, Battalion 9. Lieutenant Greg Atlas, Engine Company 10. Firefighter Gerald Atwood, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter Gerald Batiste, Ladder Company 9. Chief Gerald Barbara, Citywide Tour Commander. Firefighter Matthew Barnes, Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Arthur Barry, Ladder Company 15. Lieutenant Stephen J. Bates, Engine Company 235. Firefighter Carl Brodigan, Engine Company 214. Lieutenant Stephen Nelson, Battalion 7. Firefighter John Burgess, Rescue Company 5. Firefighter Paul Bear, Engine Company 6. Firefighter Peter Dalefield, Ladder Company 42. Firefighter Brian Dilcher, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Carl Beanie, Rescue Company 5. Firefighter Christopher Blackwell, Rescue Company 3. Firefighter Michael Bacino, Battalion 48. Firefighter Frank Panamo, Engine Company 230. Firefighter Gary Box, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Michael Boyle, Engine Company 33. Firefighter Kevin Bracken, Engine Company 40. Firefighter Michael Brennan, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Peter Brennan, Rescue Company 4. Captain Daniel Brethel, Ladder Company 24. Captain Patrick Brown, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter Andrew Braun, Ladder Company 5. Captain Vincent Brunton, Ladder Company 105. Fire Marshal Ronald Buka. Firefighter Greg Buck, Engine Company 201. Captain William Burke, Engine Company 21. Chief Donald Burns, Assistant Chief, Citywide Commander. Firefighter John Burnside, Ladder Company 20. Firefighter Thomas Butler, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Patrick Burns, Ladder Company 101. Firefighter George Kane, Ladder Company 7. Firefighter Salvatore Calabrero, Ladder Company 101. Captain Frank Callahan, Ladder Company 35. Firefighter Michael Camarada, Ladder Company 11. Firefighter Brian Cansario, Ladder Company 101. Firefighter Dennis Carey, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter Michael Carlo, Engine Company 230. Firefighter Michael Carroll, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter Peter Carroll, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Thomas Casuria, Engine Company 22. Firefighter Michael Cawley, Ladder Company 136. Firefighter Vernon Cherry, Ladder Company 118. Firefighter Nicholas Chafalo, Engine Company 235. Firefighter John Chapora, Engine Company 219. Firefighter Michael Clark, Ladder Company 2. Firefighter Steve Copley, Engine Company 217. Firefighter Tarell Coleman, Squad Company 252. Firefighter John Collins, Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Robert Cordes, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Ruben Carrera, Engine Company 74. Firefighter James Coyle, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter Robert Crawford, Safety Battalion 1. Lieutenant John Chrissy, Hazmat 1. Firefighter Dennis Cross, Battalion 57. Firefighter Thomas Cullen III, Squad Company 41. Firefighter Robert Portolo, Ladder Company 16.
Lieutenant Edward D. Atari, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Michael D. O'Rourke, Engine Company 40. Firefighter Scott Davidson, Ladder Company 118. Firefighter Edward Day, Ladder Company 11. Battalion Chief Thomas DeAngelis, Battalion 8. Firefighter Manuel DeVal, Engine Company 5. Firefighter Martin DeMayo, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter David DeRubio, Engine Company 226. Lieutenant Andrew Desperado, Engine Company 1. Battalion Chief Dennis Delvin, Battalion 9. Firefighter Dewan, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter George DePasquale, Ladder Company 2. Lieutenant Kevin Donnelly, Ladder Company 3. Lieutenant Kevin Dow, Rescue Company 4. Chief Ray Donnie, Chief of Special Operations Command. Firefighter Gerard Duffy, Ladder Company 21. Captain Martin Egan Jr., Division 15. Firefighter Michael Elfris, Engine Company 22. Firefighter Francis Esposito, Engine Company 235. Lieutenant Michael Esposito, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Robert Evans, Engine Company 33. Battalion Chief John Fanning, Hazmat Battalion. Captain Thomas Farino, Engine Company 26. Firefighter Terrence Farrell, Rescue Company 4. Captain Joseph Farrar, Division 1. Chief William Fahan, First Deputy Commissioner of Fire Department. Firefighter Lee Felling, Engine Company 235. Firefighter Alan Feinberg, Battalion 9. Firefighter Michael Fiore, Rescue Company 5. Lieutenant John Fisher, Ladder Company 20. Firefighter Andre Fletcher, Rescue Company 5. Firefighter John Ferrer, Engine Company 214. Lieutenant Michael Fordor, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter Thomas Foley, Rescue Company 3. Firefighter David Fontana, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Robert Hoyte, Ladder Company 7. Lieutenant Andrew Fredericks, Squad Company 18. Lieutenant Peter Frury, Engine Company 55. Firefighter Thompson Gambino, Hazmat Company 1. Chief Peter J. Gansey Jr., Fire Department Chief. Lieutenant Charles Cabarney, Battalion 9. Firefighter Thomas Gardner, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter Matthew Garvey, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Bruce Gary, Engine Company 40. Firefighter Gary Geidel, Rescue Company 1. Chief Edward Garrity, Battalion 9. Battalion Dennis Garmin, Ladder Company 2. Lieutenant Vincent Gamino, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter James Gilbertson, Ladder Company 35. Firefighter Ronnie Guides, Squad Company 288. Firefighter Paul Gill, Engine Company 54. Lieutenant John Ginley, Engine Company 40. Firefighter Jeffrey Ganagno, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter John Gordagno, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter Keith Glaus, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter James Gray, Ladder Company 20. Chief Joseph Gerzlak, Battalion 48. Firefighter Jose Guadalupe, Engine Company 54. Lieutenant Jeffrey E. Wow, Battalion 43. Lieutenant Joseph Gilwickson, Ladder Company 101. Firefighter David Halderman, Squad Company 18. Lieutenant Vincent Holloran, Ladder Company 8. Firefighter Robert Hamilton, Squad Company 41. Firefighter Sean Hanley, Ladder Company 20. Firefighter Thomas Hannafin, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Dana Hannon, Engine Company 26. Firefighter Daniel Harlan, Ladder Company 2. Lieutenant Harvey Harrell, Rescue Company 5. Lieutenant Stephen Harrell, Battalion 7. Captain Thomas Haskell Jr., Division 15.
Firefighter Timothy Haskell, Squad Company 18. Captain Terrence S. Hatton, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Michael A. Hobb, Ladder Company 4. Lieutenant Michael Healy, Squad Company 41. Firefighter John Heffernan, Ladder Company 11. Firefighter Ronnie Henderson, Engine Company 279. Firefighter Joseph P. Henry, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter William Henry, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Thomas Hetzel, Ladder Company 13. Captain Brian Hickey, Rescue Company 4. Lieutenant Timothy Higgins, Special Operations Command. Firefighter Jonathan Homan, Hazmat Command 1. Firefighter Thomas P. Houlihan, Engine Company 6. Firefighter Joseph Hunter, Squad Company 288. Captain Walter Haynes, Ladder Company 13. Firefighter Jonathan Gillespie, Squad 288. Captain Frederick Bill Jr., Ladder Company 2. Firefighter William Johnston, Engine Company 6. Firefighter Andrew Jordan, Ladder Company 132. Firefighter Carl Joseph, Engine Company 207. Lieutenant Anthony Jovich, Battalion 47. Firefighter Angel Uribe, Ladder Company 12. Father Michael Judge, FDNY Chaplain. Firefighter Vincent Kane, Engine Company 22. Chief Charles L. Casper, Special Operations Command. Firefighter Paul Keating, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Richard Kelly Jr., Ladder Company 11. Firefighter Thomas R. Kelly, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Thomas Kelly, Ladder Company 105. Firefighter Thomas Kennedy, Ladder Company 101. Lieutenant Ronald Kerwin, Squad Company 288. Firefighter Michael Kiefer, Ladder Company 132. Firefighter Robert King Jr., Engine Company 33. Firefighter Scott Capicto, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter William Krakowski, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter Kenneth Humple, Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Thomas Kavickas, Squad Company 252. Firefighter David LaForge, Ladder Company 20. Firefighter William Lake, Rescue Company 2. Firefighter Robert Lane, Engine Company 55. Firefighter Peter Lagone, Squad 252. Firefighter Scott Larson, Ladder Company 15. Lieutenant Joseph Levy, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Neil Levy, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Daniel Labretti, Rescue Company 2. Firefighter Carlos Lillo, paramedic. Firefighter Robert Lanang, Ladder Company 20. Lieutenant Michael Lynch, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Michael Lynch, Engine Company 40. Firefighter Michael Lyons, Squad Company 41. Firefighter Patrick Lyons, Squad Company 252. Firefighter Joseph Maffeo, Ladder Company 101. Firefighter William Mahoney, Rescue Company 4. Firefighter Joseph E. Maloney, Ladder Company 3. Chief Joseph Mark Banks Jr., Battalion 12. Lieutenant Charles Morgata, Battalion 22. Firefighter Kenneth Moreno, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter John Marshall, Engine Company 23. Lieutenant Peter Martin, Rescue Company 2. Lieutenant Paul Martini, Engine Company 23. Firefighter Joseph Mascala, TSU 2. Firefighter Keith Roy Maynard, Engine Company 33. Firefighter Brian McAleese, Engine Company 226. Firefighter John McAvoy, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter Thomas McCain, Battalion 8. Lieutenant William McGinn, Squad Company 18. Chief William J. McGovern, Battalion 2. Firefighter Dennis P. McHugh, Ladder Company 13. Firefighter Robert McMahon, Ladder Company 20. Firefighter Robert McPadden, Engine Company 23. Firefighter Terrence McShane, Ladder Company 101. Firefighter Timothy McSweeney, Ladder Company 3.
Firefighter Martin McWilliams, Engine Company 22. Firefighter Raymond Messenheimer, Rescue Company 3. Firefighter Charles Mendez, Ladder Company 7. Firefighter Steve Mercado, Engine Company 7. Firefighter Douglas Miller, Rescue Company 5. Firefighter Henry Miller Jr., Ladder Company 105. It's now 09:59 hours. This is the time we're going to pause and remember the signal 5555 to honor the memory of the members killed at the time the South Tower collapsed. Firefighter Henry Miller Jr., Ladder Company 105. Firefighter Robert Manera, Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Thomas Migoni, Ladder Company 132. Lieutenant Paul Mitchell, Battalion 1. Captain Louis Modafari, Rescue Company 5. Lieutenant Dennis Mojita, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Manuel Mojita, Squad Company 18. Firefighter Carl Molinaro, Ladder Company 2. Firefighter Michael Montesi, Rescue Company 1. Captain Thomas Moody, Division 1. Chief John Moran, Battalion 49. Firefighter Vincent Morello, Ladder Company 35. Firefighter Christopher Mozilla, Engine Company 55. Firefighter Richard Muldowney Jr., Ladder Company 7. Firefighter Michael Milan, Ladder Company 12. Firefighter Dennis Mulligan, Ladder Company 2. Lieutenant Raymond Murphy, Ladder Company 16. Lieutenant Robert Nagel, Engine Company 58. Firefighter John Napolitano, Rescue Company 2. Firefighter Peter Nelson, Rescue Company 4. Firefighter Gerard Nevins, Rescue Company 1. Lieutenant Daniel O'Callaghan, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Douglas Holzschlager, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Joseph Ogren, Ladder Company 3. Lieutenant Thomas O'Hagan, Battalion 4. Firefighter Samuel O'Keefe, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Patrick O'Keefe, Rescue Company 1. Captain William O'Keefe, Division 15. Firefighter Kevin O'Rourke, Rescue Company 2. Firefighter Dennis O'Berg, Ladder Company 105. Firefighter Eric Olson, Ladder Company 15. Firefighter Jeffrey Olson, Engine Company 10. Firefighter Stephen Olson, Ladder Company 3. Firefighter Michael Oaten, Ladder Company 35. Firefighter Jeffrey Palazzo, Rescue Company 5. Chief Oriel Palmer, Battalion 7. Firefighter Frank Palombo, Ladder Company 105. Firefighter Paul Pansini, Engine Company 10. Chief John Haleli, Battalion 11. Firefighter James Papa George, Engine Company 23. Firefighter Robert Harrell, Engine Company 8. Firefighter Darrell Pearsall, Rescue Company 4. Lieutenant Glenn Perry, Battalion 12. Lieutenant Philip Beatty, Battalion 7. Lieutenant Kevin Pfeiffer, Engine Company 33. Lieutenant Kenneth Pellet, Battalion 32. Firefighter Christopher Pickford, Engine Company 201. Firefighter Sean Powell, Engine Company 207. Firefighter Vincent Minnesota, Ladder Company 7. Firefighter Kevin Pryor, Squad Company 252. Chief Richard Cruz, Battalion 2. Firefighter Lincoln Quap, Rescue Company 2. Lieutenant Michael Quilty, Ladder Company 11. Ricardo Quinn, Paramedic. Firefighter Leonard Regalia, Engine Company 54. Firefighter Michael Ragusa, Engine Company 279. Firefighter Edward Rawl, Rescue Company 2. Firefighter Adam Rand, Squad Company 288. Firefighter Donald Regan, Rescue Company 3. Lieutenant Robert Regan, Ladder Company 118. Firefighter Christian Ringenhard, Ladder Company 131. Firefighter Kevin Riley, Engine Company 207. Lieutenant Vernon Richards, Ladder Company 7. Firefighter James Richards, Engine Company 4. Firefighter Joseph Ravelli Jr., Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Michael Roberts, Engine Company 214. Firefighter Michael E. Roberts, Ladder Company 35.
Firefighter Anthony Rodriguez, Engine Company 279. Firefighter Matthew Rogan, Ladder Company 11. Firefighter Nicholas Rosamondo, Rescue Company 5. Firefighter Paul Rohrbuck, Ladder Company 25. Firefighter Stephen Russell, Engine Company 55. Lieutenant Michael Rosu, Special Operations Command. Chief Matthew Ryan, Battalion 1. Firefighter Thomas Sabella, Ladder Company 13. Firefighter Christian Centura, Engine Company 54. Firefighter John Santor, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Greg Sedusko, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Dennis Seduko, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter John Shard, Engine Company 201. Chief Fred Sheffield, Battalion 12. Firefighter Thomas Scholes, Engine Company 4. Firefighter John Santor, Ladder Company 5. Firefighter Gregory Sikorsky, Squad Company 41. Firefighter Stephen Siller, Squad Company 1. Firefighter Staniel Samagala, Engine Company 226. Firefighter Kevin Smith, Hazmat Company 1. Firefighter Leon Smith, Ladder Company 118. Firefighter Robert Spear, Engine Company 26. Firefighter Joseph Spoor, Rescue Company 3. Chief Lawrence Stack, Battalion 50. Captain Timothy Stackpole, Division 11. Firefighter Gregory Stack, Ladder Company 13. Firefighter Jeffrey Stark, Engine Company 230. Firefighter Benjamin Suarez, Ladder Company 21. Firefighter David Soar, Engine Company 216. Lieutenant Christopher Sullivan, Ladder Company 111. Firefighter Brian Sweeney, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Sean Talon, Ladder Company 10. Firefighter Alan Perazutsko, Engine Company 5. Correction, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Paul Tagmeyer, Engine Company 4. Firefighter John Tierney, Ladder Company 9. Firefighter John Tipping II, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Hector Torado Jr., Engine Company 2-3. Firefighter Richard Van Hine, Squad Company 41. Firefighter Peter Vega, Ladder Company 118. Firefighter Lawrence Bellick, Engine Company 235. Firefighter John Vigiano II, Ladder Company 132. Firefighter Sergio Villanueva, Ladder Company 132. Firefighter Lawrence Virgilio, Squad Company 18. Lieutenant Robert Wallace, Engine Company 205. Firefighter Jeff Waltz, Ladder Company 9. Firefighter Michael Wachola, Ladder Company 5. Captain Patrick Waters, Special Operations Command. Firefighter Kenneth Watson, Engine Company 214. Firefighter Michael Weinberg, Engine Company 1. Firefighter David Weiss, Rescue Company 1. Firefighter Tim Welty, Squad 288. Firefighter Eugene Wellen, Engine Company 230. Firefighter Edward White, Engine Company 230. Firefighter Mark Whitford, Engine Company 23. Lieutenant Glenn Wilkinson, Engine Company 238. Chief John Williamson, Battalion 6. Captain David Woolley, Ladder Company 4. Firefighter Raymond York, Engine Company 285. We'll now read the names of the members, the officers from New York City Police Department and Port Authority Police Department.
Members of the Port Authority Police Department: Officer Christopher C. Amoroso, Officer Maurice V. Berry, Officer Liam Callahan, Lieutenant Robert D. Seary, Officer Clinton Davis, Officer Donald F. Foreman, Officer Greg J. Froner, Officer Thomas E. Gorman, Officer Euro G. Houston, Officer George G. Howard, Officer Stephen Cooksko, Inspector Anthony P. Infante Jr., Officer Paul Jurgens, Sergeant Robert M. Coffers, Officer Paul Luzinski, Officer David Lemange, Officer John Lennon, Officer J.D. Levi, Officer James Lynch, Superintendent of Police Fred Marone, Captain Kathy Mazza, Officer Walter McNeil, Officer Donald McIntyre, Officer Joseph Navas, Officer James Nelson, Officer Alphonse Niedermeyer, Officer James Parham, Officer Dominic Zullo, Officer Bruce Reynolds, Officer Antonio Rodriguez, Officer Richard Rodriguez, Chief James Ramito, Officer John Scala, Officer Walwyn Stewart, Officer Kenneth Teachin, Officer Nathan Webb, and Officer Michael Foley. Members of the NYPD, Sergeant John G. Coughlin, DSU Squad 4, Sergeant Michael S. Curtin, DSU Squad 2, Sergeant Rodney C. Gillis, DSU Squad 8, Sergeant Timothy A. Roy, Traffic Control Division Bus Unit, Detective Joseph V. Vigiano, Emergency Service Squad Number 2, Police Officer Joseph Diala, DSU Squad 2, Police Officer Vincent G. Dance, DSU Squad Number 3, Police Officer Jerome M. Dominguez, DSU Squad 3, Police Officer Stephen P. Driscoll, DSU Squad 4, Police Officer Mark J. Ellis, Transit Bureau, District 4, Police Officer Robert Fazio, 13th Precinct, Police Officer Ronald D. Klockfer, DSU Squad 7, Police Officer Thomas M. Lagone, DSU Squad 10, Police Officer James P. Leahy, 6th Precinct, Police Officer Brian G. McDonald, DSU Squad 1, Police Officer John W. Perry, 40th Precinct, Officer Glenn K. Pettit, Police Academy Video Production Unit, Police Officer Mariah Smith, 13th Precinct, Police Officer Ramon Suarez, Transit Bureau, District 4, Police Officer Paul Talty, DSU Squad 10, Police Officer Santos Valentin Jr., DSU Squad 7, Police Officer Walter E. Weaver, DSU Squad 3, and Detective Claude D. Richards, Bomb Squad.
At this time, I would like Chief Tornelli, the two presidents of the respective unions, along with the managing director, to join me in the placing of the wreath at the memorial tree. For those that might not be aware, the tree that's planted up above, there was planted, there's a plaque there in honor of the memories of those lost. The plaque reads, this September tree. This September tree was planted in memory of the victims of the terrorist attacks against the United States that occurred on September 11, 2001. This September tree honors all victims of those cowardly attacks, but pays particular homage to the 343 New York City firefighters who perished that terrible day. This September tree reminds us of the daring heroism of the FDNY firefighters, the sheer resiliency of the American spirit. This September tree rises from the earth like a phoenix from the ashes, like iconic buildings of stone and metal, like memories of heroes and victims past, of spirits soaring skyward, reminding us all that we will never forget. Earlier, I missed a couple people in the opening remarks that I realized that had joined us this morning that I didn't recognize. On the bench here over the side is Councilwoman Marcia Goodman Henderson, who is here, has been here with us for many years. I also, on the tolling the bell, Lieutenant Jason Patch. Before we continue on, I do want to take some time to recognize everybody that made this morning's ceremony possible. This would not have been possible were it not for Fire Marshal Jeremy Searfoss, who took the lead on this, put together all the flyers, the itinerary, the ordering of the wreath. He, along with retired firefighter Pete Sargeshman, who was leading the ceremonial unit, they were out here this morning while it was still dark at 6 o'clock, along with Deputy Chief Banks, probationary firefighter Lucas Richardson, as they started putting all the flags in place and all. They started before the sun was even up this morning. I can't thank them enough for all their help and all they've done to make this possible and to continue with this. Retired Fire Marshal David Januszewski began the ceremony back in 2001. I believe, and he might be able to, I don't know if he could elaborate more on the history of the tree. I believe there was a time where that was destroyed and replaced.
It was decided at the time to have some type of permanent memorial, and the tree was an idea that came up. It was donated and put placed out there under someone else's tutelage of fire marshal. Unfortunate incident had happened. Weather came through, destroyed that tree, and they replaced that tree with this one here. I want to say, after 20 years, I think maybe I might have missed two of these. One I was outside the country, and the other one, my granddaughter asked me to attend it at her school in our church, and I couldn't say no to her. So unfortunately, but they were the only two, and here again, I just want to reiterate to everybody, thank you so much. It means so much to me and everybody else here. Thank you.
Forgive me. I'd like to take a moment to read the fireman's prayer. We all follow it. When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save a life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a little child before it's too late, or save an older person from the horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert, to hear the weakest shout, and to quickly and efficiently put the fire out. I want to fill my calling and to give the best in me, and guard my neighbor, protect his property. And if according to your will, I have to lose my life, bless with your protecting hand my loving family from strife. Amen. Duty calls. We'll be finishing up here shortly, following the 10:28 calling of the bell at the time the North Tower collapsed. Following that, we'll call upon Pastor Camacho for the closing benediction, and then following that, we'll be retiring. The honor guard will be retiring the colors. But continuing on with I want to express my appreciation at this time. Not only to all those I've mentioned, also I want to say thank you to Stan, the public, Cindy Kastner, and the public works staff for all their help and helping us out with getting the equipment, the podium, the speakers up here this morning, along with the opening of the band shell to allow us to set up. And most of all, I want to say thank you to the colored and honor guards, the Reading firefighters, Local 1803, and the police FOP, police department. And I am most thankful to our bagpiper, Pastor James Farnsworth. Thank you once again for your assistance. And of course, I want to say thank you to everybody that has come out here this morning. I think this was the largest showing that we've had to date. Appreciate everybody's coming out, and I thank you for your time, for taking your time out this morning, and everybody else during the day. It's now 10:28 hours, the time that the North Tower collapsed will pause to honor the memories of those lost at that time, calling 5555 on the park. rest in peace. Pastor Camacho.
As we close today, if I still standing today with this uniform, which identify me as a soldier, but also as a chaplain in the United States Army. Even though today I'm 5 years retired from, I still feeling and knowing that I am a soldier and not just a civilian. And the reason I still calling myself a soldier and I became a soldier was because my dad served 31 years and my brother who served 27. Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm. Was because each one of them took the time to come and sit down with me and teach me what was the meaning of being a soldier, or what was the meaning of serving with pride and joy and happiness, commitment, and more than those, and conviction. Today, 20 years after the 9/11, we're still saying that those who died and what was done never will be forgotten. But each one of those that were there that day and lived that day, we have a duty, we have a task, we have a mission. We have a responsibility that is very high. It's about taking the time and sitting down with the ones who didn't born that day and born after, to tell them what happened. So 20 years after, 30 years after, and 40 years after this day, they will continue as we're doing today, celebrating something that never needs to be forgotten. So my calling today to each one of you, as it's a calling to me too, let's go out and let's share with the ones who didn't know, the ones who never listened, the ones who never saw what happened that day. Let's share with them, and let's ensure that they come to know. So when we become so old, we can sit down there and see them here celebrating what never be forgotten. And with that, I close with this prayer that was given to me this morning. A God of all goodness, protect our nation and our world from every impending evil. Foil the evil attempts of the enemy and grant us peace in our day. And as we always say, the God and everlasting and almighty one, bless the United States of America and all those from around the world that comes to be part of us, to live with us, to suffer with us, to laugh and smile with us. God bless them too, because they all come to be part of the United States of America. God bless you. Go back home in peace and grace. Amen.
Thank you all. And before we retire to colors, I want to apologize and acknowledge the young ladies that have been here with us for these 20 years holding the flag in the background. Thank you once again, ladies.
Please rise to the retirement of the colors. Color guard, retire the colors. Preachers! Arm! I got it, Sarge. Fall out. Good job.